A story is told of Bertrand Russell. When he was getting old, a question was put to him. He was asked, when you die, what if it happens that God comes to you and asks you, why did you fail to believe in me? He replied, I have a simple answer. I will just tell God, you did not give me enough evidence. You might be guessing, what has this to do with the feast we are celebrating today? I just began with that because I know, or I still guess, that I'm expected to say something about the apostle we are celebrating today. If I don't say much, it's because the church has not given me enough evidence. St. Matthias is an apostle. All we have about him from the scriptures is what we heard in the first reading. That Peter one day, supposedly touched by the Holy Spirit, said that the number should be completed in fulfillment of the scriptures. But that is all we have. And he's even neglected by the gospel writers. One that wonders like me will begin to wonder, is he really an apostle? Why couldn't they at least say, after putting Judas, since he was replacing him, they would say, Judas Iscariot, the one that was replaced by Matthias. If you take it in that way, and you say, then he is not an apostle, I wonder why you are here. But we can look at the story, even though the church has not given us much, depending on what you call much, that we have sufficient that will help us to live our own faith. Let's look at what we have about him. It said that the number of the followers at that time were many. I won't say 120 before the theologians will begin to tell me symbolic. But they were many. And if they were many, then you begin to ask yourself, why is it that out of the many people, he is the one, or one of the two, that were called? Remember, the condition, the criterion, is one who had been faithful from the beginning. One who was there at the baptism of John and was there at the resurrection. Is that not much? One of the things we see from, if we begin to look more into just that simple sentence, is that St. Matthias wasn't a cautious looker. He wasn't such a person who is careful, staying away, looking and say, what is it going to be? That is what many of us do today. We are Christians. We claim. But most of the times, we stay away, separate ourselves, and say, let's see what and how is it going to end. But the celebration of today reminds us it's not about being a careful onlooker. In a sense, if I want to use a word that a careful onlooker is an opportunist. But to be really genuine disciples. And the gospel helps us to know what a genuine disciple should be. I don't know what you will feel if you go back to your houses, especially those of you who live in communities. And the first thing you hear is that there is a rule, a new rule in the house, whatever the rule might be. And the person who gives the rule, after giving the rule, and you will the person will turn back and say to you, do you know what? This is the sign of my love for you. What would you take that to be? Some may say, what a mean formato, and he's even claiming it is love. Others will say other different things. But if we look at the gospel in a way, that is what it is. Jesus says, if you want to love, look at him. The love he receives from the Father, the one he has given, it is a command. It is a rule. That is the only way you can show that you are his. Are you ready to take the risk? Why would some rules be problematic if we can begin to look at it from that point of view? That it is a sign of love. Following his own example, he could as well say, even the Father is so mean, wanting me to do this or that. But he didn't go that way. Maybe if we are ready and willing to follow him, we might begin to reevaluate what commands, commandments, rules, laws are to us. Maybe it is the time to begin to forget the letter of the law and begin to look at the Spirit. That would be the only reason that Jesus will say his commandments are love. Look at the progression. He says, if we are able to live by that, our relationship with him would change. It wouldn't be again the master-servant, the master-slave relationship, but that of friends. You remember, towards the end, still in the same gospel, it's supposed to move just from friendship to brothers and sisters, but it doesn't begin, extend, when we begin to see commandments and as love. We did not choose him. He chose us to bear fruit. What fruit are you bearing? What is the lasting fruit you want to leave? If there is no fruit, then you are not his. It sounds like riddles, because at the end of the day, the law is love, and the fruit of keeping the commandment is love itself. But that is what we are called to be, not just to do, but to be. I don't know whether all this makes sense, but it's not about making sense. It is about making meaning in your own life. When we begin to get it, that we are not here. You can take here to be whatever it is. It could be here on earth. It could be here at St. Joseph's. But we are not here because of our own desires and wills, but because We are chosen. You can call it because we are called. But remember always, nobody calls you to do what you like or what pleases you. If you are called with a message. If we take the gospel in the context of it, the last discourses of Jesus, it is the will that is living for us. It is his wish for us that we should be friends, that we should be brothers and sisters. But that will be impossible until we begin to love as he loved, or till we begin to love without counting cost, until we begin to give up ourselves for the sake of the other, for the sake of that we claim to believe.